Hey, my name is Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Today I'm going to talk about 13th Colony Sour Mash Whiskey, which has now gone the way of the dodo. So, when you talk about a sour mash whiskey, you're talking about a whiskey that has used, anywhere between a quarter to a third of the previous mash that's now fermented. And what this does, and people get kind of a negative connotation on what a sour mash is it actually provides a better product. What it does is it builds up some lactic acid when it's introduced into the new mash. What that does is it reduces the ability for some of the other bacteria that may harm the bourbon to start. It improves the pH level, and that way you get a more consistent product over time. And also something that I find very enjoyable, just because, and I think the connotation people have with sour is it's bad. Doesn't mean it's bad at all. It just means that you're using something to enable yourself to have a more consistent product. In this example, 13th Colony, for those that aren't familiar, are in Americus, Georgia. They were established in 2009. They're the oldest distillery in Georgia since Prohibition. It was started by two friends that wanted to find a legal way to make gifts for their family and friends, and then turned into a business. I actually had the opportunity last weekend to go to the distillery, meet a couple wonderful people there, and that'll be in a video for later, kind of give a little bit about 13th Colony. Um, a lot of people right now are on fire for their double oaked. I'm waiting for this fall to maybe have my first opportunity at some of their double oaked. So that'll be an exciting thing there. But one of the products that they had, and when I say had, they no longer produce this product, is their sour mash whiskey. And when I went through their distillery tour, they give you a flight of some of their different stuff. I had their bourbon, had their rye, and their sour mash. And the first one I picked up was the sour mash. And I was like, wow, this is good. And then the gentleman there was like, yeah, we no longer make this. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's just, it wasn't something that was selling at the rate that we thought it was going to sell. And so, Megan and Brian, who are also a husband and wife team that worked there, was talking with them a little bit about it during the tour. And they're like, I think the problem that we had is we put sour mash big on the front of the bottle, and people have that negative thought of sour and don't realize the whole purpose and the consistency that it brings with it. So of course I was like, man, I gotta make sure I keep some of this around, and I was able to purchase a bottle there. It was signed by their master distiller, Graham Arthur. We'll go in more detail on him. Interesting story on how he came into the distilling industry. But this is a product that it's still available on shelves. It's not being produced anymore. If you're in the Georgia area, I would suggest seeing if you can find a bottle of this, because it has gone the way of the dodo. They're not reproducing anymore, but there's still some out there, and when they're gone, they're gone. All that being said, let's tell you a little bit about the whiskey itself. It is a wheated mash bill, um, but it is heavy corn forward. I think it's 105. So yeah, it's at 105 proof, and like I said, I was floored by it when I found out they no longer had it. But let's give it a review. You get the corn, you get the caramels, you get the vanillas of a good whiskey. You get some of the oak in this right off the nose on this too. And they use I believe it was a 3 char on this. And the one thing that you'll find, and that Brian had explained during the tour, is you'll probably never get a 12 or 15-year-old whiskey out of them, just because of the evaporation rate, the angel's cut that they get there. You know, they're losing 5+% a year on the Angel's cut, and that's after the initial first year where you lose most of your Angel's cut as it gets into the bottle and into the barrel, I should say, and it's kind of wicked away. Let's give it a taste. You get your caramels in here, you get your vanillas of a good bourbon. I always get like a sweet cornbread on this. You know, very corny on it, but it's also has that nice sweet wheat smell and also kind of a sweet wheat flavor to it. And this is almost like this has such a good mouthfeel too. It's a very, this is so viscous, and a lot of that is due to that weather in Georgia. You know, you get cool winters, but the summers are hot, and that whiskey that bourbon is moving in that barrel so much that you're getting a lot pulled out of here. So you get some sweet, you get some of the cornbread in here, super viscous, great mouthfeel, and a longer finish than you would kind of expect on this. I'm still getting a nice finish on this. A little bit of the burn in the chest, you know, the Kentucky hug, but you get a little bit of the spice on the back. It's not overpoweringly spicy, but it's such a good sipper that it just breaks my heart that this is no longer available. So if you do have that opportunity, please get out there and get some. And I've liked everything that I've tasted from this distillery so far. I'm even to the point where I'm going to check out their vodka and their gin, just because I know some vodka drinkers and some gin drinkers that I would like to see what I think of them, to maybe get them as gifts for them. It's great to support a local product. If you have the opportunity, make it to Americus, Georgia. Check out their website. Find out when you could do a tour. I mean, it was $15, and you got 3 pours, and then you got the tour. So it was very worthwhile. Great history on the place there. But I would say that this right here, if you have the opportunity, the price point's about $40, $35 to $40, depending on what liquor store you're in. Get it. This is a special pour for me because now it's no longer available. I hope you all have an amazing day. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Still working on the Infinity bottle at 250 subscribers, and it's going to get into somebody's hands. I think one of my other Infinity bottle projects is going to contain some of this, because this is something that won't come on be on the shelf anymore. Y'all have an amazing day.